dem Lindenbaum, die Wechselkröte leicht weißen Schaum. Presse die Rosen an deine Brust, was hast du von der Liebe gewusst?
Mark, as a musician playing in Berlin and musicianing all over the place, what's your opinion of German music as a whole?
Well, over the last few years, before like 1978 or so, it was very American influenced, I think. And like for the last 2 years, the bands have been like really like Neubauten, people like that, they've been really active. I think that a lot of that has gone from Berlin at the moment.
Well, why is it gone? I mean, was Berlin the place to be if you're a musician a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was, yeah, sure. Because new music in Germany was like, people were deciding, oh great, we can play now for ourselves. They were throwing off this American influence and just becoming, oh, we can practice and play. And it's something new for them, because they'd never done it at all up until like 2 years ago or so.
So, what's the essential difference, if there is any difference at all, between being a musician in Berlin and being a musician in Britain?
Well, there is a great difference here. I think that you have, the bands, they don't concentrate so much on being in just one group. They seem to go, they like to go from one band to the other band and swap bands.
So you get all these people, this same group of people playing in thousands of different bands.
Yeah, so it's like one massive band. I think this actually hinders the music though in a lot of senses, because they don't get a chance to construct and develop like they think they could if they actually just concentrated on one band.
Tulpen am Bachesrhein. Der Moll schlüpft in sein Loch hinein. Brenne die Rosen im lodernden Licht. Das Leben vergeht, wenn die Sporke dich sticht.
What kind of people live in these houses?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
There must be some sort of other person apart from you.
Well, I
itself.
don't live in all of them, you know. I just live in one. But you get like lots of Turks living in these houses here in Kreuzberg. Kreuzberg has got the most people in their in the small area that it is, because it is actually the smallest district of Berlin.
What does it mean? Is it quite expensive to live here? Or cheap? It doesn't
No.
look as if it's like Mayfair or Park Lane, is it?
Well, it's very cheap, in fact. I mean, you get between about £15 to £20 a month in one of these houses. I mean,
Well, that's incredibly cheap, right? I mean, it seems quite atmospheric as well. I mean,
oh yeah, it's very. I mean, like they've all been destroyed in the war, and they just had like the windows put back in. And,
these bits are like holes from bullets. And
yeah,
what
bullet
have you.
holes. Yeah, there was bombs dropped around the place, just shattered the houses apart.
Well, the kind of history that maybe this place has been having recently is the punks that live in this area. Are there still lots of them left?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, they're not punks in the true sense of the word. I don't think you can't class them in the same way that you can class a British punk in 1976. It comes much later here, and here we are actually at one of the places where it all started.
That's
This is
SO
the
36.
SO 36.
Now, this had an incredible reputation, didn't it, for being the punk centre of the world? I mean, look at it now.
Terrible
it seems a bit-
reputation here.
I mean, it's all closed up. How long has it been closed?
It's been closed for about a year now. They decided to close it because on the streets all the punks had come out at the concerts, and they sit on the steps and just drink beer and just cause a lot of noise, and the neighbours, they don't like that. As you can see, they renovated these houses and they're starting to renovate these houses at the side. And so to make this area back, it's like early in the 30s, this used to be a really residential area, and it just declined and fell apart. And now the punks, they come here and they sit outside and they go over there and they sit on the corner and they just like make a lot of noise. The police come down here, beat them up and get them to move on and things like that.
Ich bin der Penner vom Straßenrand. Niemand hat mich bis jetzt erkannt. Ich bin der König aus dem Niemandsland. In der grünen Minarich Stadtrand. Dorthin setz ich gleich wieder auf meiner Bank. Mit meinen 2 Liter Zetteln der Hand. Niemand
Aha, Jan.
Hello, Muriel.
Hello. Thank you very much for meeting us in this
Do you want
auspicious
some
thing.
coffee?
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, why on earth meet in such a nice posh cafe? Because you don't look exactly as if you frequent these places.
Oh, I do, indeed.
you?
Because I look better than the old ladies around me and I feel good.
People watching in Britain don't realise that you're an extremely famous person in Berlin because you're with the
I'm
band
so famous, I turn every head.
Die Ärzte, is that the way to pronounce your band?
Ärzte.
Die Ärzte.
Yeah.
What exactly, how would you describe your band?
Well, we are great and we do pop music for easy listening, you know? Music for the summer.
Do you think that you're a punk?
Oh no, I don't. I think I am more punk than some people who say they are, but I don't think that I really am a punk.
Or what are you then?
I don't live on social welfare, that's why.
Are you a very typical example of German youth then?
No, I'm just, a musician. Young, beautiful, honest.
Really modest as well?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
very modest. What do you think
You want
is...
a piece of sugar?
No, thank you very
Okay.
much. I'm a clean living girl. What do you think exactly is the future for Berlin bands? Do you think that, for instance, there aren't very many Berlin bands that are terribly famous throughout the rest of the world? Do you think we're going to hear a huge amount about them?
I can't say that. I think the Einstürzende Neubauten have made quite a name now in Britain because they do new music. I don't think we'll ever make a good name in Britain because our music, well, you've got the music already that we done, like the Undertones, the Out Buzzcocks, and they were better than we are. But I think it's hard for a German band to become famous in England anyway, or throughout the world. Because if you are an honest band, you have to do German words, German texts, and nobody understands them.
Is West Berlin all it's cracked up to be? Everybody imagines it's terribly decadent and it's like cabaret. I mean, this
It is.
Is
Did
it?
you know that this place
No.
in the 20s was the place where the whole cocaine scene in Berlin took place?
In this cafe with all
Yeah.
the little old ladies.
Well, I think at that time they were even younger.
So these really are the remnants of the cocaine
Yes,
dealing
they
days.
are.
I see
Watch
what-
their noses.
couple of times to Berlin. What are your impressions of the city?
Pretty fleeting about every place we go to. I think you tend to get a very false idea of what any place is like that you visit because you attach it to how well the show went and did you get your socks washed and things like that, you know. So.
And you never get your socks washed in Berlin?
I don't think so, no.
Do you think this is a really powerful city, just in atmosphere alone?
Well, it's got such a precarious kind of geographical location from one way of looking at it, and also the unnatural position of it, the natural way it's divided.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the bands that are working in Berlin and everything, I would say, just from having talked to them myself and met some of them in nightclubs, are talking that they come here from West Germany because they think this is going to be more exciting, they think that's going to affect their music. I mean, I don't know if that's the case. Do you think so?
It could be. Maybe maybe if it's in the head, but you could just as easily do that perhaps in Rotherham, you know, if you just decided that you were up against it. If you imagine that you're up against something really imposing, then it will work for you, I think. You know, I think you can just create that in your mind. So coming somewhere like this might be the way to do it.
I mean, you've been over to the east as well. I mean, did you find that was so oppressive or the same, or what were your impressions of that?
Well, I just went over on my own one day. Just went through the border at Checkpoint Charlie and just walked as really as far as I could walk. I didn't go into sort of general thoroughfare, and the area immediately beyond the border, where I went through at least, was just lots of very old buildings with bullet holes in them, and lots of very modern buildings full of terrible modern art. You know, that was all I saw of it. I didn't sort of go with anybody that sort of knew, you know, went to any kind of social scene or something, or even to Woolworths, you know.
Woolworths.
Umgeben von einer malerischen Atmosphäre hören wir jetzt eine neue Schallplatte der Tödlichen Doris. Wir können sie demnächst mit 7 weiteren Platten und batteriebetriebenem Abspielgerät verpackt in einen grünen Karton in den Auslagen mancher Plattengeschäfte bewundern.
You see, we come as friends, don't worry. We know how to take care of ourselves, so don't get heroic and try to follow me. Come as friends, you see, we come as friends. You see, come as friends. You see, we come as friends.
This kind of cafe is a sort of place you can sit and fantasise. For instance, I fantasise that I can play the piano, when in fact you can hear as I play like an 11th rate Jules Holland with both arms broken and rubber gloves on. But it's not just me that comes to these places to fantasise, because this is a sort of Berlin cafe where all the arty-farty musos come to discuss things on a higher musical plane. And incidentally, quite naturally, since we've got the camera all set up, we have 2 arty-farty musos here. I can say arty-farty because I can't understand English too well. Now, gentlemen, you have both independent record labels in Berlin. Burkhard, can I ask you first of all, you've got the independent label Zenser.
Yeah.
How many independent labels are there in Germany for a start, or even in Berlin? Do you have much competition?
No, it's we've got quite very few only who release regularly, which might be about, let's see, maybe 5 or 6 on new music releases.
Well, when we were coming into this cafe, this very posh 1930s cafe, we noticed the English music press there. I mean, there didn't seem to be too many German music papers. Are you well covered for things like music press and even music television programmes?
No, not very much. As at least as Berlin, mainly only the fanzines, which are only few, like Assassin, and all around Germany, maybe Spex is covering independent music, but that's it. There used to be a magazine called The German Sounds, which did regular features on new German independent releases, but that was going down.
Carl, your independent label got into sort of a bit of a problem recently, didn't it, Carl, with the record Slime? What happened there?
Yeah, we started our independent releases with one of the famous punk bands in Germany, which is called Slime, and they had a lot of trouble in Germany. The police confiscated records for anti-state lyrics.
But this is in West Germany you're talking about?
West Germany, yes. It might happen also in East Germany, but in East Germany it's impossible for punk bands to release records. We did one East German compilation in West Germany, and it's only underground stuff, which will never be released in East Germany.
It's absolutely incredible to think that in the West, police can confiscate a record. I mean, that's almost like the new Clash record being impounded by the
Yeah, but I know the
Metropolitan
same
Police.
subject happened to an English band. I think the Anti-Nova League has been confiscated in England, and the records, the police confiscated was a bigger amount of records than in Germany. But it's different. That was for obscene reasons, and in Germany it was for policy, because most of the punk bands in Germany are really political, militant political, not that crest-like. And so the government might be interested to get control on this, because we have a peace movement where a lot of punks are engaged in, and that might be one of the reasons,
This used to be the centre of Berlin, and over there, if we look, you can see that it used to be the Gestapo headquarters, but they pulled it down to eradicate the memory, I think.
What is it now then?
Well, it's just like waste ground. I think they're going to make it into something like a car park or something.
And what exactly is this building?
This is the squat, one of the squats in Berlin. It's probably the main squat and the first squat. It's called Kuckuck.
Why are there so many Scots in Berlin, Mark?
Well, there's a problem because, like, in Berlin, you only got old people, and the young people are all, like, the male population anyway. They're the guys who try and come to evade the army.
Which is the best side to stand on?
Well, I think this would be the best side to stand on. We're going to actually go under the east right now.
Under the east?
Under the wall, so on each side of the stations, but you probably won't be able to see those because it's really dark. We'll put all the lights out.
I mean, at that point, the whole sense of romance of Berlin for bands, I mean, is it a truly romantic state? I mean, the kind of thing that they think they're going to experience here, does that affect the music?
Definitely, yeah. I think, like, Berlin in itself, with it being split into two parts, you have here the groups, they're free to do as they like. They can culturally develop and they've got creativeness that they can develop here. Whereas in the East, they're not allowed to develop, but we'll probably see that later when we go to the East.
So this is it coming up, this is the wall. This is what all the fuss is about. Oh, goodness me, it's pretty horrific, isn't it? What's all this stuff here, all these...
Well, this is the actual original wall, and on the opposite side it's the DDR.
Yeah.
That's their wall, and this is our wall, if you like. I mean, in the middle is like tank traps and mines and anti-personnel weapons. If you actually live near the wall, you get a pass to enable you to go to your house.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult. If you go yourself, you find that you get stuck.
Those guards, see, they're in the cement tower.
Yeah.
I mean, have they got guns? Would they shoot you if you came from the East?
Yeah, but I think they have to shoot you. That's their job to do it. I mean...
An old 9-to-5 job. What did you do today in the office, darling? Oh, I shot a defector. I just can't understand that this is the barrier between sort of two political forces, and it doesn't seem like anything. It's just like a wee garden wall.
This is the Iron Curtain.
I know, the Iron Curtain.
The Iron Curtain. It's made out of concrete.
It says around sound in a 2-inch wall. I was waiting for the communist call. I didn't ask for sunshine and I got World War III. I'm looking over the wall and you're looking at me. Now I got a reason, now I got a reason, now I got a reason, and I
who really don't understand, or say they don't, what is the great issue between the free world and the communist world. Let them come to Berlin.
Peculiar to be walking through this really lovely rural wood, and just behind us are all the really posh big houses like Surrey or Surbiton, real sort of incredibly posh area, and here we are bang slap up against the Berlin Wall. It's a really peculiar situation, isn't it?
You can't go any further than this. This is actually as far as you can get. I mean, if you want to get over, you can just jump, but it's your own
yeah, it's
risk.
not really advisable, because
recommended.
On the other side of that is all the things we saw from the train, which are all the horrid spiky things and dogs that tear you limb from limb. Well, on the other side of this wall in East Berlin, the bands that are trying to make a go of it, I mean, how do they go about it? Can they make music? Can they write their own songs and just do the same sort of things? No?
In the DDR, you've got to show a certain amount of proficiency. Like, it means like you've got to be a musician, a student of music to be a musician. I think most people have the problem where they can't go out into the shop and buy themselves a guitar and go down into the cellar and practice and become famous. This is the problem they have in the DDR. They can find someone who's going to sell them a guitar. Usually it's these acoustic guitars or something, which you can't really do much if you want to make pop music. You find that like people will smuggle things in, or they'll just get them over somehow one way or another. But the prices are high. If you want to buy yourself a synthesizer, here a synthesizer costs you 700 marks, and they're 9,000, which is like quite a big difference.
Is it frowned upon over in the East to make pop music, and say pop music in inverted commas, but write your own songs and be with a band?
Yeah, it was up to about a few years ago. I think like the last couple of years they've decided to change that, or they've seen the change that people want to go in this direction, and you've got to move.
Because this is making you really nervous. I think
well, I've a reason to be
absolutely
nervous.
scaring me to death, to be quite frank as well. I don't think you need to say much about it. It says it all.
Yeah, we've got the telephones out there.
Done. They've gone and let the Time Tease camera crew in anoraks and all. Yeah, they have, following us around, looking up our noses and things. Berlin nightlife, you know, is something quite exceptional. Starts about midnight, goes on till about 8 or 9 in the morning, and it's not just things like this, you know, young punks, didn't say it in case they get stabbed. It's all sorts of things, bars, cafes, everything open, which is one of the reasons I'm looking so haggard. This trip's taken 10 years off my life. What I think you should do is go through and have a look while we finish our drinks.
Ich schalt die Glotze an, die Dorten swans, everyone, ich glotz von Ost nach West, so sind wir. Ich kann mich gar nicht entscheiden, ist alles so schön bunt hier. Ich glotz die Frau. Ich glotz die Frau. Ich bin so tot, das gibt schon mein Leben.
What do you think of this place? Is this really typical Berlin?
This is very Berlin, this I think.
Excuse me? Christiane F. This is Christiane F, famous of the book.
Return of the thin white Jew, making sure white stains. Once there were mountains and mountains, once there was sunbeds to soar with, and once I could never be down. I've got to keep searching and searching. Oh, what will I be believing, and who will connect me with love?
What are you doing in Berlin again?
Moment mal, Marc.
Oh, translation.
Genau.
Yeah.
Marc,
Ask
du weißt,
Christine
pass
Berlin.
mal auf, ich will gerne was sagen, was ich nicht richtig auf Englisch sagen kann. Wenn ich es auf Englisch mache, dann ist es so
Do you want to say it in...
oberflächlich.
Okay, since
Weißt du?
it's not good to say it in English because you can't.
Not at all.
Or
Ask what you're
opinion
doing in
across.
Berlin.
Ja, was machst du hier?
Was ich hier mache.
Ja, ja. Was
Oh
willst du?
Gott, ich lebe hier.
She
Ich
lives
wohne
here. She lives here.
And you're enjoying living in Berlin. I mean, is this really typical of Berlin nightlife?
Ja, sure.
It is? What are all these people doing? I mean, are these people working or are they just out here? Is this their whole life, dressing up, having spiky hair and being hanging around in leather in Berlin nightclubs?
Also ich hoffe nicht, ne, dass es so
She hopes
ist.
not. It's not like that. That's the impression we get.
Well, what do you see the real Berlin as?
Aber was sagt sie jetzt? Was heißt?
Was ist denn Berlin, also deine Meinung? Echt Berlin?
Das ist zumindest das interessanteste Stadt.
It's the most interesting city in Germany.
Why?
Hier gibt es zum Beispiel keine Sperrstunde. Hier ist nicht um 4 Uhr Sense.
It's not like in West Germany where at 1 o'clock you've got to go home. Here you can
You
24
can
hours
smash
a day.
glasses 24 hours.
24 hours a day get drunk.
Hey, is it cheap to live in Berlin? It's quite cheap to go out in the clubs.
It's not so
I don't know, you
expensive.
just have to find a way to get by.
Do you think it's quite cheap to go out at night here?
No, it's not cheap.
It's cheaper than in London.
This is Friedrichstrasse or Frederick Street in West Berlin, and it's Frederick Street for the least linguistic of you. And this is a beautiful, long, elegant street that's literally been cut in half by the Berlin Wall. And just behind me is Checkpoint Charlie at the wall, where the tube is about to embark on its great adventure in the east. We're not allowed to film there, unfortunately, because they just won't let us, but we'll see you on the other side. is East Berlin, and an incredible city it is too, but my very first impression is the fact that the people in this city are keeping a very low profile. There's very little hustle and bustle for a major city, much less traffic than you'd expect on a major street. However, the architecture in this city is absolutely dynamic, thrusting up into the air, new buildings with old buildings, and it's full of little architectural surprises. For instance, look at Darth Vader's Death Star up there.
Wir brauchen Hitze. Wir brauchen Hitze. Wir brauchen Hitze. Wir brauchen Hitze.
An amateur band, say, start up in East Berlin? Is it hard or easy?
Well, it's quite difficult. Most bands don't actually want to start so early because they have to go to the army and do the military service.
Oh yes, they
and
get
that
called
takes,
up.
Yeah, it takes 2 years. But usually they'll start performing after that. And they may start performing before, but it's usually they know that they've got to go to the army. And so they go and play in youth clubs and things like that. Your mainstream bands, they're quite old. The people who play in these bands, the professional groups.
Hier ist wieder ein Titel ihrer letzten Platte der Computerkarriere und bei uns sind die Pudis.
Monotonie, ich fühle sie an manchen Tagen, wenn die Stille um uns unerträglich schreit, wenn die Stille um uns schreit. Monotonie, Melancholie, in manchen Nächten, wenn die Dunkelheit uns beide noch mehr trennt, wenn Dunkelheit uns trennt. Komm, flieg mit mir so weit. Komm, flieg mit mir, denn noch ist Zeit. Komm, fliegen wir über unsere Einsamkeit. Noch sind wir nicht zum Sterben bereit.
Well, as far as the record industry goes in East Berlin, there's only one official record label. It's called Amiga, and it's the state label. And this is the kind of product that they've got. You can see it's pretty exciting stuff. Good grasp of the avant-garde there. And other singles like this, it's quite a lot of muck on this label. Apart from these official bands, which are all professional bands, there are amateur bands, but they aren't really recognised. They're not allowed to be on television, they're not allowed to be on the radio, and you never hear of them. So what we've got for you today is something incredibly exciting. It's a tube exclusive in the real sense of the word exclusive, because this could never happen. It's never happened before,
No,
has it?
it's never happened before in German television, East German or West German television. It's never appeared an amateur group. This is the very first time for it's a major breakthrough, and it's very unique.
And it actually came about just by chance, by one of the team and Mark meeting these boys. Jessica is the name of the band, and we've gone through quite a lot of official channels just to try and make this happen. It's been very hard work, but we've managed to do it, so this really is worth a listen.
It's definitely.
So this is Jessica.
Bin ich mal so da, such ich nach einem großen Traum, in dem die Zeit versinkt, der mir die Ruhe wieder bringt. Mal mir ein Märchenbuch mir zu und sagst, komm doch vorbei. Ich renne los, mit dir fühl ich mich erst frei. Oh, oh, oh.
What exactly is the importance of appearing in British television to you as a band? Is it an important step?
Ist das wichtig?
Yes, of course. Das ist für uns eine Chance, weiter bekannt zu werden und schneller vor allen Dingen dorthin zu kommen, wo wir normalerweise als Amateurband hier nicht hinkommen würden.
This is the only chance they've ever had, and this is a massive chance to go from an amateur band to be a professional band. So I think they're right there. Like it's never happened before, ever. Never.
Das ist eine größere Konkurrenz, gegen die wir was zu machen haben, musikalisch. Und das macht Spaß.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's like they've got to go over certain barriers. All the people there behind them. You can't even say it in words. It's just unbelievable.
What kind of bands have influenced you to make this sort of music?
Police. Wir lieben Police.
Police. Yes, we've heard of them once or twice. Well, what do you see happening in music in East Germany?
Rap.
Rap.
Jessica.
Jessica.
Things you notice in East Germany is the almost total lack of advertising. So it's not unusual, therefore, to find yourself in this underground station or the U-Bahn in Alexanderplatz with no half-clad ladies advertising roll plugs. Instead, we've got these rather interesting images. Now, you're not likely to see many of those in the Tottenham Court Road escalator. Now, the other ones, I shall have to translate for you. I'm reliably informed what they say. This gun-toting Ronnie Reagan, for instance, is saying, "I'll play the song of death daily," which is supposed to be taking the mickey out of a film poster. Europe must not become Hiroshima. This skull and crossbones is pretty powerful stuff. "I want to live, Mr. Reagan," says this poor child. And this child is in the gun sights of NATO.
I'll be honest with you, I can get very cynical at times. I was cynical a few weeks ago, sitting in my house when some trendy radical left-winger phoned me up, asked me if I'd do him a benefit gig, because he's got a friend who got really heavy fines, needed them paying off because he got an overdue copy of Das Kapital out of the library. But, you know, another phone call, do you want to go to East Berlin for the Tube, Dare Tube? So that's like a bit different. Because like, well, I know I'm going to be speaking to lots of different politically minded people tonight. Good evening. You'll be right wing, left wing, anarchists, plastic brain members of the radical Tupperware party or something like that, I don't know. And I don't know what your thoughts are about Germany, what your experiences are. Perhaps you've seen Cabaret 40 odd times, or you've had a look at a David Bowie album cover or something like that, or perhaps you've seen too many bad Darren Nesbitt movies. I don't know what your experiences are, but it's like when you come over here, you get things like, I try to talk to people, and it'd be good if more people could come and have a look at things, but the trendy tourist in East Berlin would give the same old line every time. You'd get them saying things like, yes, look at the architecture, it's marvellous, look at that. The Berlin Wall, I didn't know it was that small. MUFC, they're fond of abbreviations, the Germans. Or they're also talking about the Green Lung Berlin Air. You know, that's not the issue, that's not the issue. Or appearance, you'd always get them saying, look at them. They all look like they've come out of my mother's catalogue. Look at that. You know, all these attitudes coming around. So, well, you might be wondering where I am actually. Well, I'm at the Soviet War Memorial in Treptower Park. And it's pretty big. But then it is for 20 million people, so I suppose it has to be quite big. I think it's worth thinking about war memorials as a thing of the past, because if you think about it, we wouldn't really have another war memorial. You know, the weapons they build nowadays are not going to leave much space for a war memorial anyway. So, war museums are the same thing. I mean, the weapons they build are not built to be antiquities. You can't imagine a museum of the future with some guy showing you around saying, yes, SS-20 cruise missiles, Pershing II, remember these? It's not going to happen. You get all sorts of things. Yes, kids are in Berlin what the most important thing to them is. And most of them would not say it's trying to get hold of your latest pop star's autograph. It's more to do with peace and freedom and a bit of individuality and space. And I think that's quite important, because you get people telling us who our enemies are. The threat is the threat, is the threat. The threat is blind ignorance and people not seeing things for themselves. And there's too many people giving us the peace sign in the eyes. It's -2 degrees here at the Soviet War Memorial. So please, I'll use a quotation that you might recognise. Why can't the world leben und lebenacht, live und let live? Tomorrow belongs to everyone.